All right, welcome back. So now I'm going to talk to you about the social media prompt database. This is the heart of your system, and it's where you can have a lot of fun. So let's talk a few things here. First, let's talk about right now out of the box what you've got and what you can do with it. So right now out of the box, you have in here. Let me move this. I don't know if you can see it, but I can. In the post database, you'll see I have a little lock on there. And the first thing is that lock is because if you mess with this is going to mess, it can potentially influence what you get in your results on your calendar. If I change this here, it's going to change it when it populates in there. It's basically pulling these posts and putting it into that calendar for you. Same thing with the category, especially with the categories. If I change the word here, it's no longer going to show up over there because it is set with the way I've got it formula, and the formula, it's directly looking for that category to pull it in here. So if I were to change that general to miscellaneous, they would no longer show up over there and you wouldn't have any general. So very important, do not change these categories. Now, if you're an advanced Excel, or Google Sheets user, you can certainly do what you want. Unlike most, I actually am giving you full access to the formulas I use so that you can have at it. I like I realize that's not always the smartest business decision, but I do like to just, hey, we're a team and we work together, and I think I make good quality content. And so hopefully you keep coming back and you can still improve on it as you like. But unless you really know what you're doing, I would not mess with the formulas. And I definitely would not change these categories. So, enough on that. One thing I did do to help prevent an accident, in worst case scenario, if you get in here and you just butcher this up, you have lifetime updates on this sheet for whatever you have, whether you bought the Prepper or the Prepper Plus. You can always re-download the newest and latest, greatest version. I won't be adding post per se to that, but maybe I'll find a way that I can improve the product, and if so, that new version will be yours for free forever. So, worst case, if you really just mess your whole thing up, you can always come and download the new version. But if you've done any work, you'll lose that because the new version is obviously not going to have your work because you're making copies of this document. So one of the things I did to help prevent that from happening by accident, but still allowing you the ability to do whatever you want with the product, is I protected this sheet. That's what that lock is down there. So if you were to click in here and I were to try and change this to general and I hit enter, you're going to see it tells me, heads up, you're trying to edit a part of the sheet that shouldn't be changed accidentally. Edit anyway. And if I know what I'm doing, I can click this box. It'll go away for 5 minutes and I can continue on. Or if I'm like, oh man, that was an accident, I have an opportunity to click cancel and it will stay as it was. Now, where might you want to change? Well, you may want to change some of these prompts. Maybe you just you hate walkie talkies. And so you might just want to delete this whole thing together. And you certainly can. That's not going to impact anything. I can delete this row and it will just, I'm not going to because I don't want to do the product, but it would just take it away and that will never populate again for me. It'll be gone. So that is easy enough to do. If I want to change up, like demonstrate how to purify water, maybe I don't want it to say that. Maybe I want it to say demonstrate how to make clean water out of nothing, whatever. I can come in here and I can do those changes. And then any of those changes I do in here, when they pull into the calendar, they will be reflected there. So pretty self-explanatory. I edited here. The output is the new edit. Simple enough, right? So now let's talk about beyond that. Let's say that I want to add some of my own. I can do that. So what I would encourage you, unless you really know how to mess with formulas, I would encourage you any that you add that you tie it to one of these categories. If you know how to mess with formulas, you can certainly click up into here and you can change around these formulas here and this formula here to make it reflect. If you don't know, then I wouldn't do that. Otherwise, let's just say I want to add some bug in post. I can add my post right here, and as long as I would just actually copy and paste. I just Control C, Control V. Let's say OK on this time, and whatever post I put here will now be added into that database, and it's going to automatically populate without issue. So it's pretty straightforward. So as long as you tied into one of those categories. You've just added to your own database. So let's see, what else would you do? In the event, and I'll probably do special videos just for this, but in the event that you buy an additional packet from me, say I create a packet of, into the world alien attack social media post, and you want to add that because you bought that packet, all you're going to do is you're going to copy those posts. You'll come in here, you'll right click and paste them, and you'll right click and paste the category, and then there will be some right clicking and pasting in here too. Actually, I'll do a video specifically for that. Don't worry about anything like that now. Mainly just worry about this. Don't change the categories or it'll break the function, and feel free to change any of this to better fit your brand voice or whatever you might want. And feel free to add to any of these. Another thing too, you don't have to, if you wanted to add it in skills training just to keep it organized, you can certainly come in here and just say insert a row above, and I could add it in here so that it's right there with the skills training. However, I don't have to do that. I can just add skills training down here, and it's still going to see it. It doesn't have to be in order. I grouped it like this so it's easy for you to see, but that doesn't mean you have to put it there. You can kind of put it anywhere in here, and it's going to cross it into here for you. That's pretty much it. That is the Prepper Eternal Calendar in a nutshell. Super easy, super simple, but super effective and a great time saver. Hope you love the product. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me, Shane at The Contentpreneur, and let me know what you need. Contentpreneur.com.